kind of in a weird dynamic right now, and I just want to talk about I found a thing that people are a group. I guess it's a community of people they're calling themselves overemployed. And what's really interesting about it is, especially with how there's so much remote work from home, kind of it's really tech based kind of things, that you have people that are working 2 full-time jobs from home, and neither one of the companies know this. Like it's really the website's really cool. I've went through it a few times. It's cool because they talk about setting a low bar from the beginning, so it's easy to achieve, like preparing your employer for your mediocrity. I'm serious. That's one of the things they talk about, and I'll tell you what, it's really interesting that they talk about, hey, let's go in there and talk about how you're gonna set the bar low. Then they give you like some pointers on communicate in such a way that makes it appear that you're really working hard on certain projects and whatnot, and how to communicate that in it's really cool. And the reason why I'm a little torn between it, because it's like open deceit. It's like you have this job, you don't really like it. It's kind of just a job. And you're not getting raises like you think you should be getting, because you might be a mediocre employee. But instead of upping your game, why don't you just fleece them and go get another job with lower expectations? Because at a minimum, you're going to give yourself a 50 to 80% raise. Like that's the premise of the website. And it's really awesome and really awful. Like it's this blend of awesome awfulness, I don't know.
My initial impressions when I read it was like, dang, that's actually kind of a smart idea. And honestly, I was torn because I really do think it might be a free market answer to the layoffs that are currently happening. That was my initial impression. Is if these big companies are going to be laying people off, then why wouldn't you just double dip, grab 2 jobs, and then give one half your attention. Worst comes to worst, you get fired and you get unemployment from the other. Think about that. That was my initial impression, which and when I thought about it, it just really made me think, man, it would be. It's going to, in the end, make it better for employers to reinforce their commitment to their employees.
Well, it's really going to make them have to up the ante when it comes to benefits and work from home and flexibility.
Exactly.
I mean, because that's what's spawning that. And I kind of thought of a thing too is, okay, so you get this employee that's given 40% at work, but it might be better than somebody that's given 10%. I've worked with these people. I've worked with people who give 0%. I've that are just there as long as they can continue to collect a paycheck, and that is all. Like they have no aspirations to achieve anything.
Hey man, if you can get what the paycheck ain't gonna change.
One of the things you kind of insulate yourself from potential layoffs. So let's say you have this job, you're putting in 30-40%, and your main job downsizes and you get let go, because you're one of the mediocre employees. But you still got that other job, so then maybe you can up the ante there a little bit and you actually, try. But I just got to read one of the lines from this. It says, one of the keys of success while working 2 remote jobs is communications and setting low expectations with your boss. The strategy is to set the workload low in at least one of the 2 jobs so you can navigate spikes in workload. So they refer to one job as the keeper job. So that's like the main job, maybe the one that you got better benefits with, or maybe the first job. But then, you kind of want to scope out this second job where you're the bottom of the rung guy, or close to. And it just, man, it's such a great idea. I mean, like you said, the free market has given this. They have said, you know what? We're going to let people work from home. And then we're going to say, hey, since we let you work from home, we don't need to give you a raise. You're getting all this extra time at home. Well, no, that isn't how this works. I'm so torn, but because it seems so shady, you know, it's so shady. It's like,
Hey, come on now. The free market does not reward morals. Remove your morality, and you'll be able to make more money. Come on now. All you do is have to say, hey, I'm going to fleece my other employer out of a bunch of money, and I'm just going to work about 10%, make 100% of the money. And when he lets me go, I'm just not going to put it on my resume, and I'm going to take unemployment from it anyway.
oh yeah, I mean, there is no downside for the employee in this situation. I don't see one other than I mean, you'll have some extra work to do, but then again, let's say you increase your income by 50% and increase your workload by 30%. I mean, that's a win. That's a hard win, you know, like that's a big one. So
That's a win. Exactly.
You gotta. One of the things, man. There's one of the lines in here is. It talks about you want to be able to meet expectations. You want to be seen as somebody that meets expectations, right? But you're gonna lay the foundation of having those expectations be low right from the beginning. And it says, while in reality, your aim is to do the minimum and get by. Don't get fired while secretly hoping to get laid off. Now, one of my questions is, and I don't know the details of how this works exactly, but if you have full-time employment, I don't think you can get unemployment from a second full-time job.
Oh, that's a good point. That didn't even cross my mind for a second, and it should have, you know, because you absolutely generally can't.
Yeah, you know, if it's a bigger company, you'll get some sort of severance that'll go with it, right? And then well, you know, what the big benefit would be is then you wouldn't say that you got fired, right? You had this other job and I just got laid off. I mean, it doesn't say, yeah, I slacked off so bad that I got like that wouldn't be a thing. You wouldn't have to worry about that then. Like that's I think what they're getting at there is to just get laid off so then it goes away.
You know, one of my other questions that I had coming about this was, it says it's a community of people that are all doing the same thing. So, like, what kind of community is this? Are they all giving themselves each other about ways that they can slack off better? Or are they all, like, trying to help kind of each other with, like, their work? They, like, all post all of their collective work all on one, and they just, like, kind of hop on, and you, like, do somebody else's work for a second, even though you're giving all the wrong answers, or it might be just completely made up, you know, but it would help you submit something. So that was kind of my question while I was looking through that, is like, what exactly is the community aspect to this?
Well, there's actually there's a ton of content, and it actually, like, I'm reading some of the articles right now. It's like, manage conflicting meetings with 2 remote jobs, managing LinkedIn with multiple remote jobs, how to set low expectations at your 2 remote jobs. Overlapping jobs to try 2 full-time remote jobs. It actually brought up a really interesting one. I think it's the most recent one. No, it's not. But it says the race for remote work after the pandemic, and that's something I've been talking about. Actually, I was talking about that before this, for a few years before the pandemic hit. You may remember that there's a very large employer that we both know that. They have a huge office building. I mean, a monster. You know, 100 and I think the office building part's 110,000 square feet or something like that. It's ridiculous. And I'd been saying for a while that I think that's just a ridiculous waste of money, because you're paying for this building, you're paying to maintain this building, you're paying for heat and cooling and power, and for people to go into this building and sit at a desk and talk to people on their headset when you could get all of that out of the way and just let them stay home. And the argument I always got from people was, well, how are you going to know if they're doing their job? But you'll notice that now that's not a concern. Now it's like, hey, we know if they're doing their job because guess what? Nothing happens if they don't do their job. So now, I don't want to say that I was right, but I was just right. I mean, that if your job is to talk to people on the phone, right? Why do you need to go into a building that this company has to own that's pretty arbitrary so you can have teams of people and you can have one person say, oh, yeah, they're all here on the phone. Yeah, I see them. Yeah, oh, there's that guy. Yeah, he's on the phone too. I mean, why? It hasn't made sense to me for a number of years. It really hasn't. And then the pandemic hit and I was like, I'm going to be right. I know it's going to happen here. They're going to say, hey, all you people go home. And then after that, they were like, man, it didn't really change anything. Like, we still got the same amount of work done. When in reality, the people, for the most part, were able to do the same amount of work in less time.
And then they're going to be having their 10% job that's paying them 50% of their income on the other side.
It's just the premise is so smart. Like I
really do think it's a free market answer.
Well, yeah, but I mean, part of it too is there's a lot of companies that for a long time just made a distinct decision that we're just not going to be competitive in the job market and we'll take whatever we can get. And then what we're going to do is we're going to break our jobs down into little tiny segments so anybody can do them because then they're just really, really basic. So you don't have to put out money for skilled labor that's motivated and intelligent and have to pay all the benefits and have to attract people. Where now it's almost gotten to the point that if you want a baseline employee that's just going to do anything, that's going to do more than 0%, you got to give them benefits. You got to pay at the top of the scale. You got to give them work at home options. You got to do that just to get anybody, not to get good people. So I that labor shift happened in a way that I think a lot of companies just didn't think that it would ever happen.
I was going to say I didn't think this saw it coming either. And I honestly, I think in the end, it's going to be better for everyone.
Oh, I've thought that for a while. I really have, you know.
Yep.
I really don't see... I don't see... There is downfalls, I think, from purely work-at-home jobs. I do. I think there's some, but I really think that the benefits radically outweigh the downfalls.
Hey, dude.
And, you know... But I'm just talking about mainly about one, like having one, like a regular person having one job.
One of the other fun parts of this is that they even helped you tailor your resume so you could get your job while setting low expectations when it came to this.
Yeah.
Because that's the big deal. It's right. It's like, oh, okay, well, can I get this guy? Or, well, not guy, you know, can I get this employer to really think, oh man, this is going to be a good employee? And entirely in the back of your mind, you're like, I am fleecing you out of a bunch of money. Thanks, man.
They're fleecing, but they're not. Because remember, that if you have a person with really good skills and they're going to apply themselves at 30% or 40%, is it better than a person that's going to just not even do that? I mean, because companies have that. They have people that you know, and I think that also there's another article in there that says they talk about employee loyalty, and I think that's something that's been waning in the United States for quite a while. It's just people just aren't, you know. Well, it used to be, hey, you're going to get into this job. I'm going to work here for 30 years. I'm going to retire. They're going to give me a gold watch and a pension, and that's going to be the end. And that was a motivation for people to stay for so long. And those days are long gone. They were gone with my generation, let alone yours. I mean,
gosh, do you know how much loyalty my generation has?
Oh,
this much. It's zero.
Negative loyalty. No, it's less than zero. It's less than zero. You can't even be loyalty to have loyalty to like anything, like a sports team or a beverage, or I mean, you know, it's anything. A pair of shoes. Like you can't have any loyalty to like basic human needs. I mean, there's a generation of people who can't have loyalty to meat. You know, it's gotten to where it's just like whatever is the new thing, whatever's new, and you got a lineup of 1,000 things, and whatever is the newest thing, if whatever that was just built 30 seconds ago, that's what they're most loyal to. That's it. Like and it doesn't matter if you want to talk about like electronics or food or cars or anything, whatever that is the newest. That's what they're loyal to until the next thing is a little bit newer than that. Then that's going to be the next thing they're loyal to. I mean, that word almost is completely meaningless in an entire generation of people. By the way, they're the same people who can't drive manual transmissions.
Well, luckily I ain't one of those. So. No, for real, my friend just borrowed me a car so I could learn how to drive it, whatever.
Well, congratulations. You just recently became a man.
So, what was I before that?
I don't know. How did you identify it? It's all about what you say is reality.
Hey.
That wasn't meant to be
That
funny.
hurts my feelings.
So my generation doesn't understand what that word means. Definitely. We definitely do not understand what that word means. And as my generation has gotten to be over 40, the sound of that word almost doesn't register.
Oh, we had a long talk about it. Anyone under the age of 30 knows.
Knows what?
Oh, the feeling talk. That's what it is. We're all talking about our feelings. We care about it more than our facts. Feelings don't care about your facts.
No, I don't care about your feelings. Oh, jeez. Oh. All right. Well, let's wrap this up till the next episode of Just Two Brothers. That's all we have. It's just two brothers. Thanks for watching.
It's two brothers. We're gonna have the plane. It's gonna crash into the home, and then the two brothers are gonna hop on a truck and they're gonna drive. And you better believe
it's just two brothers. We don't want to play. We're two brothers that don't play royalties.
It's just two brothers.
It's just two brothers.